Hello. Hello, everybody out in the Ladies Lounge, Facebook land, the Ladies Lounge land.
Ladies Lounge page, Ladies Lounge group. Hello,
All
hello,
the
hello.
lounge things.
Tiffany and I are happy, shiny people laughing. We're straight out of the certified facilitator training this morning with Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here. And we just wanted to jump on board and say hi and just have a quick conversation about whatever comes up. So what's up, Tiff?
What's up? Yeah. So it was also with Simone and Brendan, just saying. Well, we were just actually having a chat with a friend of ours, and we've just had 5 days of CF training, and we're just excited for the possibilities and excited for really what we're creating in the world. And I actually named this, I don't know if you know, Viv, but I named this creation for a totally different world.
Which yes, spot on.
Which yes. And so, I think it's really just that thing of, if how many of you guys have a desire for something different in the world? We do talk a bit about, creating different things in your life and what might you like to change in your life and that sort of thing. But, it's like, how many of you do have a desire for a different world, a greater world, a world that is full of, really empowering people to be everything that they can be? And that's, this CF training, I mean, all of them, but this CF training that we've just come out of is really just such an acknowledgement of what we're creating with access consciousness and with these tools of really empowering people to be all that they can be. And so we were excited and we wanted to come and talk to you guys about it.
And deliver some yummy, juicy, amazing, alive, enthusiastic, zesty, zippy energy because, life can get really heavy. Life can get really intense. And those days where you just feel like an elephant's crapped on your head while you've been asleep, those days you wake up and you just don't really want to wake up or get out of bed and face the day because it's the same shit, different day. To have a totally different choice available that you start to acknowledge, hang on, how aware am I of everything else that's going on in the world? How aware am I of the neighbors? How am I aware of my family members? How am I aware of the person I might be sharing my bed with, or, my work colleagues or my social circle? We are expanding consciousness at a rapid rate. And if you've had any desire to create something great, if you've ever known something greater is possible, there's every chance that your awareness is sharpening. It's like your radar to pick up information and perceive energies is becoming greater and greater. And without tools, without that acknowledgement of being an aware bear, you can feel like you're buried under a massive mountain of crap, and even for me going in on the first day of the certified facilitator training, it's like, God, there's so much denseness and heaviness and intensity and, who stole my happy in my world? And within a very short period of time of being on a Zoom with 200-300 other people, all shooting for something greater, all knowing that something greater is possible, all claiming, owning and acknowledging that we do know something different is possible. We do know that there is a totally different space available now to actualize and create something that is better, greater, more empowering, like Tiff was saying, something that's actually lighting us up, something that nourishes us, something that gives us that zip and zest to actually want to get out of bed in the morning. So to have the tools to be able to navigate the heaviness and the yuck and the stuck and what the fuck, it's, for me, that is the greatest gift, to be able to recognize if it's heavy, it's not mine. So if you've got anything that's heavy in your world right now, is it yours? If you've got anything that's really super friggin' intense, is it actually yours? And if, anything lightens up when you ask that question, it's not yours. And spoiler alert, if it's heavy, if it's intense, it's never, ever, 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 ever yours. ever.
And it's so interesting, Viv, because, you know, I mean, you and I both have been playing with the tools of access consciousness for, you know, close to 20 years, you know, 15, 20 years. And, you know, like I said, we were just talking to a friend of ours about this, and he was saying, you know, oftentimes I wake up really heavy, like there's all this heaviness in my world, and I just don't want to get out of bed. And, you know, for me, I've just moved house, and in this new house, there is a completely different energy available. And I realized that, you know, in the last couple of years in the last house I was in, I mean, I knew it the whole time, but I was so aware of my neighbor and neighbors, but this one neighbor in particular, so aware of his universe. But anytime that I wasn't acknowledging that I was aware of his universe, I become his world. So, you know, like Viv was saying, that heaviness is like, it doesn't need to be yours. You may be creating some of it, but essentially it's not yours. So, you know, what lightness and joy and possibilities could be available for you? And would you be willing to choose that and know that you really can be and have that? And we are creating a different world. We really are. We are part of the creation of more consciousness being available on planet Earth. And I mean, what does that mean? Well, for me, what I get with that is, you know, for how many of you have you looked around at the way that people function, or the way that people behave around you, or, you know, the way that this world works, and kind of go, what? Like, what is this? Why would people do mean things? Why would people do things that destroy the planet? Why would people, you know, all of these different things? And, you know, we have a level of awareness, like Viv was saying, that is off the charts. And, you know, one of the things that Access has provided for both of us and for so many people is the tools to actually deal with how aware you actually are that you don't know.
Yeah, and you've just pinged something for me too. Even just then, I was acknowledging and acknowledging, which is where you acknowledge yourself, because that's been made really wrong. It's like, oh, you've got tickets on yourself or you're at yourself, but acknowledging is, wow, that is something that I chose a long time ago, that the change is occurring now. So how many things have you asked for that you've desired to change that feel like, you know, for years and years they haven't changed, and then is now the space for them to change? So I was just, in my own world, I had a quick flashback when you were talking about your neighbor, Tiff. I used to house sit, and I don't drink a great deal. My body's never really been able to cope with a lot of alcohol, no matter how much I've tried. And I was house sitting this beautiful farmhouse in the middle of country England. It was stunning. And, you know, beautiful English garden, mid-afternoon, I thought, I feel like a gin and tonic. And I went, I don't drink gin. Anyway, I went to the fridge, had a look, poured myself a gin and tonic, enjoyed a thoroughly enjoyable gin and tonic out on the patio looking at the cows. Next day, 12 o'clock, feel like a gin and tonic. So I had another one, and then I had another one, and then I had another one. And then day three, I went, hang on a second, what's actually going on here? I know this isn't my reality, but that sense, that urge, that need, and the strength of that drink. And about 3 weeks later, the people that I was house sitting for came back from their holiday, and this is a very dear friend of mine, and she said, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anybody. I've hidden this for like the last 20 years. I said, what is it? She said, my husband's an alcoholic, and we've hidden it from the kids and the family and everybody for the last 20 years. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it now. It was him. It was his energy that was so persistent in the house that I'm going, have a gin and tonic, drink, it's 12 o'clock. But the acknowledgement of, I knew that wasn't my reality. And it was just when she said that, it just changed everything in my world, the lightness, the space. It was just that recognition of, I know this isn't my reality, but when things become really pressing and really dominant, and it's in your head and you're following through with those actions of pouring yourself a drink, and yet part of you knows it's not your reality. So what space can you occupy to be greater than this reality, the trauma, the drama, the heaviness, the intensity? What space can you and your body, if you've got stuff going on with your body, what space can you and your body occupy to be greater than this? And whatever the this is that you have been buying is yours and real, which isn't yours and real. It's not yours. It never was. The only thing that's yours and that's real is what's light. And if you're willing to acknowledge that, what else could change for you?
And a couple of tools, guys, if any of this stuff is like, you know, really reading for you of like, yeah, I've got this going on, but what do I do with it? So 10-second increments and question. So really that working that muscle of being present and living your life in 10-second increments. I mean, people talk about living in the moment, but the 10 seconds is like, it gives you a little bit more to play with in the sense of like, okay, that's right, I'm doing this 10-second increments thing, right? So that means every 10 seconds you get to choose. So, you know, in Viv's example, every 10 seconds she might pour a gin, and she's the next 10 seconds she chooses to either take another sip or not. The next 10 seconds, she chooses to either take another sip or not, or pour it down the sink, or ask a question and realize, hang on a second, is this actually what my body would like to have? Okay, no. All right, so what am I doing this for? Okay, I'm going to actually pour it down the sink, or I'm not going to drink the rest of it. So it's really the willingness to be present with you, to stay in the question, and to start to look at as well, which is, I guess, a third tool, start to look at what would you like your life to be? Because there's no right or wrong way to do life. And whatever works for you is wonderful, and it's what works for you. But are you aware of what you'd like to create as your life and in the world? And are you creating that? Or are you allowing other people's worlds and universes to create life for you?
And just another tool, just to add to your toolkit for today, a question, because a lot of us don't have a clue. We don't have a bloody clue what it is that we truly want and desire and that we would like to have as our life. We've got these random jigsaw pieces of parts and pieces that we would like, but what is that picture for you? What is that sense of how you'd like to live? And so a question I asked probably for the best part of 12 months, and I'm not kidding, it was up on my shower screen. I would ask it every night I was in the shower. And it was, what can I add to my life that will make me more alive than anything? Because that more alive than anything is that enthusiasm for living. It's that creation of that generative energy and the desire. And this is what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's what makes you and your life so different to anybody else that's living in that heaviness and the drudgery and the, you know, the weight and intensity of what's happening in the world around them. So what can I add to my life that will make me more alive than anything? And just play with the question. Let's see what shows up, you know, but it's that zesty energy. It's that, what would light me up, you know, and if it's a long time since you felt lit up, what fun can you have discovering this for yourself?
Yay. Imagine if we had like a whole planet full of happy people.
Happy, shiny people laughing.
What could be possible then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
cool.
happiness is infectious. If you're choosing to be happy, get around happy people. Choose things that make you happy. Watch a happy movie. Listen to comedy shows or whatever it is. Get together with your friends that are light and easy to be with. So a bit like Tiffy is for me.
And you for me. And if you feel like you don't, you know, because I've had this before too, where you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what makes me happy. Where like I don't have anything around me that's happy. You know, start to ask the questions. Start to ask the universe. Start to ask everything around you. Please show me. I'd like to have more happiness. I'd like to have more lightness. Please show me what is it that can contribute more of that to my world and to my life and to the world. So,
and what you choose today, the seeds that you plant, what you choose today is what creates you tomorrow and the future you're going to live and have. So what would be fun for you guys?
True. So true. Cool.
Thank you, Miss Tiffy.
Thanks, Viv. See you all another time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Bye.